Well, it finally happened. I got invited to the Tesla Robotaxi network. We're gonna be going for a spin into downtown Austin, into the newly expanded geofenced area, and test out on 2 rides the smoothness, the capability, and the overall experience of the Tesla Robotaxi network here in Austin without a driver or anybody supervising in the driver's seat. So excited to bring this to you guys. Let's check it out. Okay, so it says that the ride has arrived and I got this little arrow directing me to where the Robotaxi is waiting. We're looking for a red one and it should be, oh, I think I see it. Just pulled around the corner from where I was parked. Looks great, and they're just chilling, waiting for me to show up. Okay, here we go. How's it going? You need to see the app? All right, it just says closed doors here. I don't know.
That's fine. Thank you.
We're here, thanks. All right. Okay, so we gotta put our seatbelt on and all right, so we are buckled and press start. We're headed to Dunkin' Donuts, 18 minutes at 2:02. All right. Fantastic. So that was interesting. Car whipped around the corner, got really close to us, but we braked with plenty of time. Just in this tight parking space here, parking lot, I should say. Very cool. Look at that, it's moving over to the right to allow for that silver car that's coming up. Very good. So driving through, it's kind of like a social area. There's a bunch of, hangout spots, clubs, that sort of thing. Pretty chill. And lots of pedestrians around. Robotaxi handles it, no problem. There we are, pulling out on the streets. So super smooth. I'm sitting on the left side of the vehicle here. You can see I've got open seat beside me, and in front of me is the steering wheel. So super easy to get a good view. And we are making a right-hand turn onto South Congress, which is the main artery, kind of goes right down the middle of Austin. And we are getting into some heavy traffic. So we're gonna see how this ride goes here, how Robotaxi handles the Austin traffic. And it looks like this guy beside us has no idea that there's nobody in the driver's seats. Screen is super cool here. It just gives you details on your trip. And we've got some apps down here. We've got the temperature, we've got emergency pullover, support, and media, all that good stuff here. So there's some more apps in here as well. You can just hit. So there's YouTube, so we can go into YouTube. This is pretty cool when you get to watch YouTube in the back seat here. Check out the Tesla Diner. And on your app here, you can actually adjust the volume of the vehicle, the temperature. It shows what media that you're playing. You can call support, pull over. It's all kinds of features. Shows you kind of where you're at on the map within the confines of the geofence. And I think we can pinch and zoom that too. There we go. That's very cool. So we can adjust temperature, adjust volume, and it basically reacts instantaneously with the vehicle. So that is really cool. Check that out. So we're about a third of the way into the trip here. It says we're gonna arrive at about in about 10 minutes or so. But the app is really handy because it saves you having to lean forward to touch the screen, even really to interface with it, which is pretty slick. Obviously, it has a keyboard that you can punch in, you know, your song or the video that you want to watch on YouTube and that sort of thing. But once it's running, it's pretty chill. You can just sort of sit back in the seat here, relax, and then adjust the volume, the climate, everything right from the app, which is super convenient. The ride so far has been very, very smooth, and there's still nobody in the driver's seat. So one of the things I really like about the Robotaxi is how actually right now we just went over a speed bump and it slows down, kind of modulates its speed for going over those speed bumps. The computer kind of picks it up and reads the road, and even if the speed bumps are, you know, they could be just, you know, chunks of rubber bolted to the road or actual asphalt, whether they're painted or not, it seems to recognize them. Got some approaching traffic. It's a skinny road here, but no problem for Robotaxi. So one of the big benefits of not having anybody in the front seat is the enormous amount of legroom. You can see that the back of the seat here is a good 12 inches at least, maybe more, and just an enormous amount of legroom because, of course, there's nobody up front. And that front seat is moved all the way forward. I love that. That's such a great thing, kind of a low-key flex to say that you're in the Robotaxi because you've got huge amounts of legroom on the left side of the vehicle here. So super comfortable. We're in for another good ride here, no doubt. Really nice layout here. We get the seats slightly reclined, so again, very passenger-centric, very, very comfortable. And yeah, we're headed up on about a 14-minute drive left to go. And arrival is just before 6:30 here. So it's kind of, the sun's still up, I guess, a little bit, getting late in the day. But had a super comfortable ride coming down, and looking forward to a nice, smooth ride heading back up to Tesla St. Elmo, which is where I parked up the Plaid. And I think they're closed by the time we get there, but that's no problem. The lot will be open, and should be a smooth transition. I know that the drop-off point is just kind of around the corner from the parking lot. It's usually pretty busy there, so hopefully things will have died down. Although the Robotaxi handled it really well when on pickup, actually, when we first took the ride earlier today. So. All right, so it's time to book our trip back to Tesla. So let's punch that in here, showing me the way, little walk at the end. Let's book the ride. All right, my ride is just 10 minutes away, and it is en route. Let's go. So it says it's arriving, so it should be coming in, I think, right behind us. Somewhere. Come on, Robotaxi. Should be rolling up here any second. Well, it says that Robotaxi is arriving here. Should be rolling up here. Ah, and there it is. Hello. Fantastic. There it is, right behind us. Just waiting to cross. Right there, guys. We are en route. Looks like it's a nice silver with a white interior. And it's just waiting its turn to cross the street. Here it comes. Robotaxi inbound. Let's go. Gotta love this. This is the future right here, guys. Autonomous rideshare. Hello, Robotaxi. Welcome. And it is here to pick me up. So we got our seatbelt on. We are going to hit the start button right here, start ride, and we are headed back up into kind of the midpoint of Austin, over to Tesla St. Elmo, where we parked up the Plaid a little earlier on. And yeah, the first ride was super smooth. Let's see how this one goes. Kind of like the silver color of this one. We had the red earlier on. Now we're in the silver with the white interior. Very nice. I also notice a very, very comfortable. I have an enormous amount of leg room here. So we've got the front seat moved forward. Obviously, it would never be this far forward unless the driver was extremely short, which is highly unlikely. I don't think anybody would be want to be that close to the steering wheel. So very, very comfortable, the setup that we've got here. So just keeping an eye on the main display in this Robotaxi, and I don't know if they've had some software updates or not, but I noticed that it's displaying, you know, the standard versus, I think it's hurry or whatever mode, and it may have been doing that all along. I just didn't notice it on my previous rides. So that's kind of interesting that may be for the operator, that may be just a default setting, or it could be for the passenger as well. I'm not too sure, but it's pretty cool actually, pretty slick. And obviously they're making constant improvements to these things as well, based on input from riders, from the supervisors, from tech team, the monitors, all that sort of thing. So there's always improvements being made, but so far, another uneventful trip in Tesla Robotaxi, smooth as silk. About to make the turn here. The vehicle put the turn signal on. We're pulling up into some traffic, and it's going to be turning right off of the main street here onto St. Elmo, which is the road that our destination is going to be on. And it is, I guess, 2 vehicles back from the intersection, kind of just chilling, but traffic all around. And yeah, here we go, another smooth takeoff. So let's see it handle the turn here. There we go. Nice and easy. It's funny, I watch a few of these Robotaxi videos, different guys that are riding them, Joe and some of the other people that are doing lots of rides. Here we are slowing down for a speed bump again. And it's kind of the same thing, you know, it's, you know, smooth ride after smooth ride after smooth ride. There's the odd anomaly here, but they're getting very rare, very few and far between. There's another speed bump. That's a great feature. You do not want to go flying over speed bumps, that's for sure. But I think that's the key, is that the more monotonous, and the more boring, and the more default that every ride gets, the closer we get to really perfecting the network, the software, the technology. And yeah, sitting back here, it's very comfortable. This is the way you want to get around town. In a lot of cases, especially more condensed urban environments, it's far better to take a Robotaxi than it is your own vehicle. You know, even fooling around with parking, especially at sporting events, and you know, anytime there's an event in Austin, it's always insane traffic trying to get out of these places, and parking can be really expensive too, and oftentimes the parking can cost as much or more than your Robotaxi fare. So that's something to consider as well. So even if you want to drive partway into the city but stay on the outskirts and then grab a Robotaxi further in, that's definitely an option. So we're just waiting on another right-hand turn. And this is a T intersection. We've got a kind of a residential mid-rise building in front of us here, and it's going to hang a right because the street actually does a jog. It's the same street, but it kind of jogs a little bit down here. And so the car is just waiting to pull out. We're creeping up. It's taking a look, and away we go. So that was an easy turn on red, and here we are crossing. We had to do that jog, so it goes across 3 rows of traffic, and the light was still yellow. Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. Grab the yellow, make the turn, and back on St. Elmo here. So super smooth. Again, you're not, the key too is you do not want to tick off other drivers on the road. So that move back there was super smooth. We just got the notification there, the little chime says make sure to gather your belongings. So it's letting me know that we're getting close to the destination. And that's cool that it makes that noise, because even if you're watching a show or something like that, it'll just give you that little notification, so that when you are, you know, kind of engulfed in your music or your video or whatever, you can get your stuff together and not be rushed at the end of the ride. So here we are turning into, there's Tesla St. Elmo. Got some Cybertrucks out front. And I want to see if, just because of where, oh, it's following this car in. Interesting. That's cool. I wonder if it's going to go all the way to the end, because I actually don't need to. Let me see here. This guy is, oh, that's cool. This is a car pulling into park. Robotaxi gave him some space. And I'm going to press the button here. So let's see if it'll stop here. And it is not. It says it's finding a safe location. And I guess we found a safe location. Perfect. And just end the ride. Perfect. Okay, exit safely. Good. Did exactly what I thought it would do. Realize that it's at the end of the ride anyways, and saves me another 100 feet of walking. Perfect. All right, so we got our stuff together here, and we're ready to go. Tell our safety operator, thank you very much. Wish you the best. Have a great rest of your day. And we are out of here. Another successful Robotaxi ride, Tesla Robotaxi service, fantastic. Let me off closer to the car, which is right over here, so that's great. Was able to modify the tail end of the ride there. Really happy to see that. We got Robotaxi, baby. This is awesome, just fantastic to see what they're doing with this network here. Absolutely love it. I will be using the Robotaxi network a whole lot more moving forward. There it goes there. Bye-bye, robot. Super cool. Can't wait to see this program get rolled out, you know, for the public. It's really fantastic and very easy to use. Super intuitive, well thought through. It's a smooth ride. There's no awkwardness with, you know, trying to make small talk like with an Uber driver and this and that. I've ridden in Ubers where, you know, you're 5 minutes into the ride and all of a sudden there's a small dog jumping on your lap and you're like, whoa, where did that even come from? And trust me, I'm a dog lover, but you know, sometimes when you're surprised, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe you're wearing nice clothes, who knows? Anyways, it's pretty cool to have a private ride where, you know, you can have your conversations, do your FaceTime calls, you know, go about your business and not worry about, you know, another human there, whether it's a security issue, a privacy issue, whatever might be going on. Overall, there's really a bright future for transportation here. I think it's great. I think there'll be different use cases for different people. It depends on your lifestyle, depends on, you know, where you are in the city. But I think that anybody coming into, you know, an urban situation, environment, whatever, especially when there's these, you know, sporting events and shows and different things, the concerts and whatnot, events, you definitely want to be using Robotaxi versus bringing your own car in. You know, just a door ding, I mean, can cost you on your insurance, your deductible can cost you, you know, 100 Robotaxi rides. So anyways, we're back at the car, back at the Plaid here. And it was great. That was great, you know? Now I don't have to fight traffic to head home. Super easy here. Just hop in and roll. And once they expand the geofence, I'm actually, well, where we were in the southernmost expanded region of the geofence. So it was cool to test that out and to get down there, but I'd love to see it really grow, you know, by, oh man, maybe triple. And then my home would be included in it, and then I can just leave the Plaid at home, and when I want to whip into the city, you know, and have a sleep on the way home or something like that, I'll have that option. So that is coming, that is in the future. And then who knows, maybe we're going to be able to road trip and sleep between superchargers. Won't that be wild when they flip the switch? Because right now, oftentimes I'll nap and take a sleep at a supercharger and obviously be alert and awake between superchargers. But one day, you know, time is coming where you'll be able to sleep between superchargers and you just wake up to go and use the facilities and get some food and whatever. And so it'll be kind of the opposite of what we're doing right now. So Anyway, super exciting future ahead for transportation. I got lots more Robotaxi content coming your way. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Support everything we've got going on here. I have a ton more exciting content coming your way. So we'll see you guys in the next video.